Now, you all know I'm not an astrologer, but I love to have amazing conversations with Storm Sestavani, who is my favorite astrologer, about what's going on and how the stars and the planets that are in our little solar system here are affecting us. Now, let's start by talking about why they affect us. Each planet gives off its own radiation, and so that radiation, as it hits us, it affects different parts of us, and we respond to that. So I could go deeper into that, but I can't because I usually need Storm to help me with that whole thing. But what we're talking about this week is we were talking about how there are the conspiracy in the stars. Why are all these conspiracy theories getting so much traction besides the fact that we're just looking for an answer? We're looking for something that tells us really solidly what's going on in our world. But why do we like conspiracies? Why are they taking so much root, and why are they making so much craziness going on with us? By the way, I'm Jackie with Coventry Creations, and I'm here to talk about the conspiracy in the stars and to make a little sense of what's happening astrologically for us. I have to always look at my notes for astrology because it's not all up in my head here. So right now we're dealing with a Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto conjunction. And that gives us a dire perception of the world. And that keeps us in a space where we're a little panicky and the big world is too big for us to really affect. It affects our reaction to this perception of the world. So it becomes, we take this huge thing that we can't control and we start to make it really personal. And the outer planets deal with a big world, and the things we can't quite control, they kind of happen around us. And what happens is this conjunction is causing us to have this really intense perception. And then with Saturn and Pluto being conjunct, it tears down the structure that's no longer viable. So that's what we're experiencing right now. So this is the conspiracy going on. It's in the stars. It's not necessarily the crazy going on everywhere. So we're in the middle of a big change. And then Jupiter makes it even more dramatic. Right now, Chiron, which is our inner wound, is moving through Aries, and that helps us deal with these inner wounds, but yet not. So Aries wants to get up and go. This is why we want to get out of Dodge. We want to get out of our houses. But then Chiron says, wait a minute, there is a pandemic out there. Slow your roll and start dealing with your own stuff. So that's where the conspiracy is. That's with the energy that's pulling us in a lot of different directions. So how do we deal with this? So I look at this like, this is the irritant. This is the pollen, like when the dogwood trees are blossoming and our allergies are going crazy. Well, the dogwood trees are not personally offending us. They're not doing this just to mess with our lives. But what we have to do is we have to take our allergy medicine and do all the different things that help us deal with this and help us stay balanced. So all this stuff is happening astrologically. We can't control those planets. We can't control this larger picture, so we can deal with what we have going on. I always like to talk about how finding your stability in all this, finding your root, your connection to the earth, which you can do with the Chakra Magic root success candle or the spray. You can do this with the Blessed Herbal Stability candle, the stability oil. There's a lot of different things you can do. You can hang on to nice garden rocks. I love that. When I'm really ungrounded and feeling funky, I actually will get some good rocks, natural rocks out from the world. Not super fancy, usually ones I've found, especially to wash away all that stuff. The Truth and Justice candle from the Blessed Herbal line to get clear, the spiritual cleansing, to get clear and to know what you are doing for yourself rather than being bombarded by all this information. Last night with the full moon, I really stressed out. I really started buying into all the news as I was listening to it, and I was just wondering, is it all worth it? Are we going to survive? Is anything really going to help us through this? And I verbalized that to my husband, and he goes, I'm not subscribing to that negativity. And I went, you're right. I'm not. You're right. I'm not subscribing to that negativity. But when those thoughts start to come around, it's okay to acknowledge them, and I think you really should. So you get them out of your head and go, oh, that's actually not what I believe. And then I went and spent some time grounding and clearing myself of too much input. So there's a conspiracy, but it's in the stars and there's nothing you can do about it. You can deal with your own conspiracy. Take time to understand what is true, what are the facts, and what's the story that you're creating from it. I always say, whatever it is we believe, we go out and find the proof for it. So take a second, step back and say, what am I believing? Is it really truth? Or is this a reaction of something else? So I want to say stay in your truth, but I'm going to say question your truth to make sure that you're clear and you're dealing with what's really going on rather than trying to find some answer in this situation where our foundation is literally shifting under our feet. We're becoming different. This is Jackie. I'm telling you, keep it magic. I'm wishing you magic and love and comfort. Take care, everybody.